Insane fans, thank you very much for watching this video. I am, of course, the owner of the Insane Wrestling League, Vic Luna, here with a special announcement for our next show. But of course, before we start talking about the future, we gotta talk a little bit about the past. I just want to talk about Won't Back Down. And first of all, I would like to start off by saying thank you everyone who watched Won't Back Down. The people in the live attendance who were loud as hell, making it known that they were excited about each match that they saw. From the people on Roku, who we almost had 1,000 viewers watching on Roku, our new channel on Roku. Everybody who ordered on iPPV, thank you very much. Without you guys, the IWL would not be where it is today, and so I appreciate it very much. We delivered a great show. Much happened at the last show. John Morrison teamed up with IWL champion Johnny Saovi to take on the Young Bucks in a fantastic matchup that lived up to all the hype, pretty much. In fact, it probably surpassed it. And then you had, of course, the brutal, the hellacious Eric Cross and Ray Rosas versus Drake Younger and B-Boy in an Anarchy Rules match that was just insane. It was unbelievable. I don't even know how else I can describe it. If you haven't seen the show yet, make sure you watch the video on demand replay on theiwl.com, or if you're on Roku, you can also watch it over again on Roku too. Your choice. But you can watch it again on video on demand on the website or Roku. And of course, those weren't the only two good matches on there. Every match was awesome. The first ever Breakouts champion was crowned in Simon Lotto when he defeated his former tag team partner Steven Andrews. But as you've seen in the backstage access interviews, Steven Andrews stole the belt from Simon Lotto. Had to have him return it in exchange for a number one contendership match at the next show. However, it was a great matchup between two great competitors. I couldn't have asked for such a better match to debut a new title. Congrats to both Simon Lotto and Steven Andrews for putting off a great first Breakout Championship match. Then you had the three-way tag team match between the Mixtape Kings, Fresh to Death, and Frosted Tip Warriors, which was also another great matchup. The Mixtape Kings came out victorious. Congratulations to them. It was a great matchup. They're on their way to working their way back up the tag team ladder, looking to become two-time IWL Tag Team Champions. Hopefully they succeed. We'll see. Only time will tell. And then, of course, you had Justin Reich and Damon Devine getting into an unsanctioned confrontation, which ended off with Damon Devine running off and Justin Reich challenging him to a rematch at the next show, which we'll get to. And cut this great promo, which really showed what Justin Reich was all about, and to prove that he was just pure IWL, and he got the fans riled up. It was a great moment in IWL history. Then we had Eric Watts versus Terex in a clash of the big men, and what a clash it was. I mean, Jesus Christ. For people who don't like big man matches, this match should change your mind about big man matches, because these two men, for being as large as they are, with Watts with the height and freaking Terex with the size, it was a great matchup. And unfortunately, Christian Cole had to stick his nose in it, and needless to say, Terex is his new protege, and he proceeded to have Terex splash Watts a good few times, like 6 times or so. It was a few times. Watts had to go to the hospital immediately after. I'll let you guys know his condition soon after. Then we had the tag team matchup between Willie Mack and Famous B, the unnamed tag team. However, making quite a splash so far, Willie Mack and Famous B. They're doing quite a good job. They got a big win over the Mixtape Kings, and then this last show, they got a big win over the Rockness Monsters, who are quite an accomplished team on their own right, traveling all around the world, really well known around this region. And they got a big win over the Rockness Monsters in a fantastic matchup that had the fans standing on their feet in every moment that there was in that matchup. Willie Mack and Famous B continuing to impress. We'll get to them later on. All right, IWL fans, now that we've talked a little bit about the past, and we've went in depth about the past, let's move on to the future. But once again, before we officially move on to the future, I just want to remind everybody that if you haven't seen Won't Back Down, please check it out via our video on demand service at theiwl.com for the low price of $3. Yes, for just $3, you get 3 hours of just pure awesome wrestling entertainment. I can't imagine a better way to spend $3 than 3 hours of wrestling entertainment. And for all the people who have seen Won't Back Down, well, then I recommend that you tell all your wrestling fan friends that they should take it out as well. I mean, seriously, for $3, you got nothing to lose. You get more than your money's worth. So let everybody know that the IWL, the Insane Wrestling League, is the place to be, is the place to watch, is the place to see. Spread the word of insanity. Let everyone know that they can watch Won't Back Down at theiwl.com for only $3. And if they have a ROKU channel, they can watch it there for $3 as well. And for the people who have the premium service, you can of course watch Won't Back Down as much as you want. But for everybody else, $3 gets you the replay of Won't Back Down. Now that plug is over, it's time to talk about June 28th. June 28th from the American Legion Hall of Chino. Now, there are already 2 matches signed for the show. The first one being the IWL Breakout Championship match between Simon Lotto and Che Cabrera, where Simon Lotto is the defending IWL Breakout Champion. He won it against Steven Andrews. He is the first IWL Breakout Champion. And boy, I can't imagine a first ever breakout champion. He has been a loyal IWL employee since, I believe, 2009. He works very hard. He puts on great matches for the crowd. What better way to break out and make a name for himself than by being the first ever IWL Breakout Champion? And he's going to be, I don't doubt he's going to be giving it his all in this match. I mean, it would suck to be like the first champion and then lose the title in your first defense. So I don't think Simon Lotto is going to want to be that champion. So he's going to be giving it his all to make sure he retains it. Now that won't be easy, because in the other corner you got Che Cabrera. Now Che Cabrera, he won a Fatal 4-Way at the pre-show at Won't Back Down to become the #1 contender for the Breakout Championship. And you gotta believe, this guy, he's got a lot to prove. I mean, he's a newcomer here in the IWL. He's a rookie here in the IWL, and already he's turning heads. He's making a name for himself. He's opening eyes to him. He's won the Rookie of the Year at SoCal Uncensored. What better way to cement himself as the next big thing than by becoming the second IWL Breakout Champion? So do you think Che Cabrera is going to want to take it easy in this match? Do you think he's going to go lightly on Lotto? I don't think so. And of course, Lotto's not going to go easy on Che, because Lotto's going to want to retain his title. So what you have here is a match between 2 guys who do not want to lose. Fans, this is going to be a great first title defense on Lotto's part for the IWL Breakout Championship. Are we going to see a new champion? I don't know. We're going to have to see on June 28th. And you guys are all going to have to see on June 28th. Now, the second match that's been made official for June 28th is the IWL's own Justin Reich taking on Damon Devine. Now, these two were going back and forth online in the months prior, and Damon Devine obviously just pissing a bunch of people off online, calling the fans names, insulting Justin Reich, insulting the IWL as a promotion. And so Justin Reich had the opportunity to give Damon Devine his comeuppance at Won't Back Down. Now, he did get a chance to do a little bit of that. However, Damon Devine, deciding he had enough apparently, decided to run off before Justin Reich could finish him off. Of course, Justin wasn't satisfied with that. So Justin Reich offered $1,000 of his own money if Damon Devine would accept the rematch at June 28th to face him in an official one-on-one matchup. Now, obviously, Damon Devine has everything to gain and nothing to lose. I mean, if he loses this matchup, then whatever, he lost a wrestling matchup. But if he wins this matchup, he gets $1,000. Meanwhile, Justin Reich has everything to lose and nothing to gain. All Justin Reich wants here is redemption and revenge against Damon Devine, who has disrespected many people, since getting online, and heck, he's even trashed the wrestling business. So Justin Reich decided to put up $1,000 of his own money if it meant getting revenge on Damon Devine. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to come out with $1,000? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. If Damon Devine wins, I mean, he's not an official part of the IWL roster, but I mean, a win over Justin Wright would be big for him and would cement his place here as an official newcomer in the IWL. Meanwhile, Justin Reich has to keep his $1,000 and make sure that Damon Devine is never allowed back here in the IWL. Who's going to win? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see on June 28th. All right. Well, Insane fans, now that we've gone over the 2 matches, let's talk about the rest of the show. Now, first of all, everyone's curious about what the name of the show is going to be, what the theme of the show is going to be. Before I get into that, I think it's best if I explain the backstory to this a little bit. Now, 2 weeks ago, there was this thing in Los Angeles called the NATPE convention, NATPE convention, and it was something called PitchCon. And basically, what this PitchCon was, if you had TV shows in mind, if you're interested in going to television, if you had a great pilot in mind or something, you could go to this PitchCon and you could pitch to a few networks. You could pitch to a few production groups. Let me just say, I went to this in hopes of getting IWL on TV. And let me just say that it was a great experience, by the way. This is, if you're looking to get into TV, if you have some great ideas in mind, I recommend that you do go to this. I don't know if they're going to be back here next year, but I do recommend that if they are, you go to this. It was a great learning experience. It's a 2-day thing. The first day is nothing but a bunch of classes and seminars by people in the industry explaining you what television networks are looking for, and just a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, I learned a lot, more than I was expecting going there and learn. And the second day, it's just basically, it's a big room, and there's a bunch of networks and representatives in there, and there's a bunch of production groups in there, and basically you'll have like 10 minutes to pretty much meet with any of them and pitch your ideas to them. Picture it kind of like a speed dating thing, but with TV networks. It's pretty cool. It was a great experience. I got to talk to a few networks. I got to talk to a few production groups. Pretty much all great experiences, all great meetings. I think I only had one negative meeting with one production group that was just not feeling a wrestling show. But everybody else was feeling it. They loved our product. They loved our story. And they think that we have a bright future ahead of us. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that as great of experience as it was also a real eye-opener. And it was a real eye-opener because, listen, going into this, I expected that a pro wrestling show on network TV or a nationwide, cable network, I imagine that this is a pretty hard sell. You have to be a pretty big fan with a pretty big audience already to get on a network, and I know this. And a lot of networks aren't looking for pro wrestling shows. What I didn't realize is just how hard of a sell this would be. I mean, pretty much, obviously a lot of people in the TV industry, they're not a lot of wrestling fans, and they don't really understand the nature of pro wrestling. They just don't understand pro wrestling. For instance, and the first day, there was a seminar hosted by a former USA Network president. I'm completely sorry, I don't remember his name, but he was a former USA Network president. And he was giving a seminar on what TV networks, what type of shows that TV networks are looking for. And he gave this seminar, which is a great seminar, by the way. Like I said, I wrote down a lot of notes, I learned a lot from the seminar. But he gave this great seminar, and at the end he had Q&A. And people asked their questions, and I decided to raise my hand and ask a question of my own. Now, obviously, in the seminar, he didn't address pro wrestling shows, and I didn't expect him to. So I decided to ask a question about pro wrestling shows, whether they're in demand at all, if people are looking for pro wrestling shows. And, pretty much what he told me, to summarize it, he just told me that, no, networks aren't really looking for pro wrestling shows. Vince McMahon owns all the top talent. and that's it. He owns all the top talent, so pretty much why would anyone else pick up any other wrestling shows, because Vince McMahon owns the top talent. Now, I get it. You know, WWE has spent the last few years making a big name for themselves. They become a pretty big force, and they built quite an empire for themselves. I get what he's thinking. If you're not a pro wrestling fan, you know, it's like I'm an MMA fan, but only to a degree. Like, to me, I only watch UFC. Because to me, they're the top freaking fed, and in UFC, I'm not going to watch anywhere else because all the top fighters are in UFC. So listen, I understand their way of thinking, because I think that way myself when it comes to other things like MMA or other subjects, you know, like, or the NFL. You know, if I were to have a football product, I don't think the people are going to watch this, because they're going to think, well, NFL has all the top athletes. Why are they going to watch this? You know, so people have that same attitude toward wrestling. The thing is, obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you obviously know that that's not the case. It's not the same with pro wrestling. In pro wrestling, there's talent everywhere, nationwide, countrywide, you know, worldwide. There's great talent everywhere, not just in WWE. And even if they were, where do you think WWE gets it from? They get it from the independent scene. An independent fan like us, by the way. And so, my understanding was, it's like, I think if there was a product good enough, I think the networks would pick up on it. I just think that a lot of people just don't understand pro wrestling. Now, I know a lot of you thinking, it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, no, wrestling can be on TV. I mean, heck, you got Championship Wrestling from Hollywood that's on television. And even in the past, you got ECW that was on local TV and XPW that was on local TV. I mean, surely there's an audience for pro wrestling on television. I mean, that's true, but that's for local TV. And I'm not looking for local TV. If we're going to be on TV, I want it to be seen on a national level. And I want to produce it for a national level. And just simply, people in the networks are looking for that in a national level. The one negative meeting that I had, they were the producers. They're the people who produce Lucha Libre on MTV2. And I talked to them about my product. I told them our story, how we used to be a backyard fed that's now a thriving independent federation. And they pretty much just weren't having it. The guy made up every excuse in the book why he wouldn't work. He just wasn't feeling it, and his excuse was, well, Lucha Libre on MTV, that didn't really sell well. The ratings weren't that great. That was kind of a hard sell. So why would this work? Who's looking for pro wrestling? Now, if I were to talk to him honestly, I would tell him, well, that show, frankly, wasn't that great. You know, they were trying to go. First of all, their name was Lucha Libre on MTV2. That's immediately gonna alienate people who aren't fans of Mexican pro wrestling. And second of all, they were trying to compete with the production values of WWE, which you can't do unless you have the money of WWE. And so with those two combinations, it's just not going to be good. I would have loved to told them that, but you know, I couldn't. What I did say, though, was that the Lucha Libre factor is going to alienate, you know, a bunch of people. Regardless, they weren't having it. So, that really fired me up, because what that guy told me was really discouraging. I mean, he just pretty much flat out told me, I don't know what makes you different from others. Bottom line is that we started off from a backyard federation, and we're a thriving federation now. We just had John freaking Morrison in our last show. And on top of that, too, our shows are good. We don't have shitty wrestling shows. We have good, solid pro wrestling shows that wrestling fans can enjoy, and hell, even people who aren't wrestling fans can enjoy. There are people who go to my shows who aren't wrestling fans who can enjoy it. We know how to put on a good, solid wrestling show. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and whine and cry about it. As always, I'm not going to sit out and prove it. So you know what? After this experience, as great as an experience as it was, what I learned was that the IWL is just simply, well, too insane for television. I quite frankly don't think that network TV is ready for us. I mean, national TV. I don't think that they're ready for the IWL. And another thing that I learned from that convention is that the digital age, the internet, is quickly rising and is kind of starting to surpass television. People would rather spend time in front of a computer or their iPad or any kind of other internet-based device to get their entertainment. No longer are they really going to television. I mean, yeah, granted, there are, television's still doing well, but the internet's kind of catching up, and it's going to surpass them sometime soon. And I got some great advice from some people who I met with, who are specifically with digital media, who told me that we should just capitalize on our online audience because we have a niche product, we have a good online base already, that we should just capitalize on that and continue to thrive on that. And that's what we're going to do. So I've decided that the IWL, at least for now, is just too insane for television. Which is why I'm naming our June 28th, 2013 show, IWL Presents Too Insane for Television, because that's what we are. We have built a name for ourselves via our online presence, via our online websites, our YouTube, our Twitter, our Facebook, our website. Hell, we're on ROKU now, which is an internet-based device. I mean, yeah, you watch it on our television, but it's an internet-based device. We're doing pretty well on the internet and online. So why not keep going with that? Why not build our audience and make our audience so large that television will have no choice but to look at us and go, you know what? These guys over here, they're doing pretty well. Maybe we should do something with that. So June 28th, it's about making a statement. And the statement is that we're too insane for television. We're going to keep our online and we're going to keep doing what we do best. Because honestly, television has a lot of restrictions anyway. We would probably have to leave out a lot of what makes us really good. And where internet, there's not really much restrictions or limits on there. We could do whatever the fuck we want. I mean, just me saying fuck right now, I could do that without no FCC or anything. So we're going to stay online for now. Now, I was going to come on here and announce the main event for the show. However, because of just the way I am, I like to deliver excellence to you, our IWL fans. I like to deliver nothing but awesomeness, awesome insanity for you guys. I don't want to run a fucking shit show or a mediocre show. I don't want people leaving our show going, you know what, that was okay, whatever, I'm going to go check out this wrestling fit. No, I want this show to be the only show that you love. So you know what, as always, I'm going to be trying to deliver to you a great show. So I was going to deliver to you a main event, but I'm kind of second guessing that. So I'm going to think about it a little bit longer before I really decide that this is what I want. However, I did promise you guys that I would announce a new match. So I'm going to announce to you one new match, and it's going to be a title match. It's going to be for the tag team titles, actually. The Young Bucks, who had an amazing match against Morrison and the IWL champion Johnny Saovi at the last show. Even though it was a great match, they came out on the losing end. And thank goodness for them that they didn't put their titles on the line, because they would have lost them. However, they're going to put their titles on the line at this show. And they're going to put the titles on the line against a team who I feel is really deserving right now. A team who has gotten 2 impressive wins between the last 2 shows, against the Mixtape Kings and against the Rockness Monsters. The Mixtape Kings, former tag team champions, and the Rockness Monsters, who are great in this region, who are seen as awesome in this region, who have been all around the world. They have gotten 2 impressive wins, and for a pretty new team, that's pretty impressive. And they're talented individuals on their own. As a team, they're doing awesomely so far. If you haven't guessed it by now, I'm talking about Willie Mack and Famous B. So Willie Mack and Famous B are going to get a shot against the IWL Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, for Tag Team Gold. That's one of the main event matches that has been announced so far. Like I said, people, I have other things in mind. I mean, Watts got seriously hurt at the last show for Terex, so you gotta believe I got something in mind for Terex. If Terex wants to make such a statement, if Christian Cole wants to make such a statement, then I got something in mind for them at this show. And don't think I've forgotten about Ray Rosas and Eric Cross, who defied the odds and defeated Drake Younger and B-Boy in a hellacious Anarchy Rules match. You gotta believe I got something in plan for them. Especially Ray Rosas, the longest reigning Anarchy champion so far. I mean, is there no stopping Rosas? I don't know. He can hold that thing for years to come. But I'm going to test him at this show. And then above all, you got Johnny Saovi, the IWL champion, who proved all of his critics wrong and showed that he can hang with the greats, that he deserves to be the IWL champion. What do I have planned for him? Because you better know that the last show was the only test I had for him. I'm probably going to have another test for him at this show to really solidify that he is your people's IWL champion. So listen, while there are only 3 matches made official so far, Lotto versus Cabrera, Wright versus Divine, and of course the Bucks versus Willie Mack and Famous B, you gotta know that this is not all. And the IWL promises you greatness, promises you insanity. Keep tuning in to theiwl.com. Follow us on Twitter at InsaneWL. We got a lot of Twitter fans out there. Thank you very much for following us. We got a Facebook at facebook.com/IWLWrestling.com. A YouTube account too that you could watch us on, and of course Roku. Which, by the way, for our Roku users, if you think, oh, what new content are we going to be seeing? I have a bunch of edited shows since 2008 that I've never released on DVD. So I'm going to be releasing those for you guys, for the premium users anyway, on Roku. And for the Roku free users, well, I suggest you jump on board the premium, but if you just want to stick to the Roku free users, we're going to be uploading some more free matches too, from this last show and a Breakouts match. We got some new content coming your way too. Keep watching the IWL. Our home's online. I love you, our online audience, our IWL fans. You guys are the ones I'm trying to please. Thank you for watching. Tell everybody IWL. I'm going to be setting up a Facebook invite page, event page that you guys could respond to, say you're going or not. It's going to be set up actually as soon as this video goes up. So go look for that. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Keep checking.